Hi traders, this is Forex Nelson and I'm back today with another 3 trades. As you can see down here at the bottom, €2 and £1 trade. Today's date is September the 3rd. I took a couple of days off. I only need to trade 2 or 3 days a week, to be honest with you. And that's exactly the main reason I got into trading 15 years ago. It's actually going on 16 years. And that reason was to work a lot less and make a lot more money, of course. So as I said, I did 3 trades. The Euro New Zealand, we'll start with that one. Just drag and drop it up. Now I did take the trade at 7:34 this morning. Right at this cursor right here, this is a perfect example of a great way to trade. Almost perfect timing, pretty much, to be honest with you. Took the trade at this cursor, as I said, and for no particular reason other than I was just looking down at the bottom and I was happy with the totals, and that's why I closed the trade. But as you can see, it continued to go up, and I closed it out, looks like with 22 pips. And 22 pips on the Euro New Zealand paid $1,486. I teach exactly how to trade this way. It's called a great way to trade with a very high success rate. And the most important thing that I teach within the training videos is the flow of the market. And once you learn the flow of the market, and you master a great way to trade, that's the only 2 things that are very important to learn. And remember, of course, on a scale of 100 up to 100%, psychological part is the #1 killer of all traders who fail, and that's worth 50%. And then you have trade management, which is another 20%. And of course you have money management, another 20%. You must master those 3 things. And then of course after that you learn a great way to trade, and then the flow of the market. Like there's times you should be trading with the flow, and there's times that you're going to go against the flow, and I teach that. So we're off to a good start here. Let's move on to this Euro Aussie. Let's take a look at it. Exactly the same thing. You know, I come to the computer at 6 o'clock in the morning. I don't trade the London as I'm sleeping. I teach exactly what to look for between 6 and 8 in the morning. It's the best time to trade, or at least to get into the trade. Of course, there's 100 more tips and tricks that you have to learn. I'm not going to give all the tips away here on YouTube, but they are within the training videos. So in this Euro Aussie, let's just drag and drop it up. Same thing, near perfect timing would have been around here. I missed it by a few pips. Let's see what I missed it by. Missed it by 9 pips, 9 or 10 pips. And for no particular reason other than I was happy. I did not get a close trade. I just was happy, and I was happy with, looks like 27 pips, and 27 pips on the Euro Aussie paid $1,974. Now of course I know that I can keep going up to the ADR, probably will, but that's okay. I close out the trade after a couple of hours. I don't know how long I was in this trade for, from 7:30 to about 8:30. So for about an hour, less than an hour of trading, get in, get out, and done for the day. I was done before 8:30 in the morning. Usually I put in the trade, then I go have breakfast, and at least 9 out of 10 trades, by the time I come back after breakfast, I'm making pips. Day in and day out, trading is easy with my master trigger. And just to let you know, all the trigger systems work. Once you figure out how to trade the flow of the market, they all work. Now I had a trader asking me, what is the difference? There's not a huge difference, to be honest with you, but the value is within the training videos. The more training videos that you get, the more tips and tricks I'll be teaching you. You'll learn more because every day presents a little bit different situation, and as I see, that's what I talk about. So what I talk about today will be slightly different what I did last month and 6 months and a year ago. They all have value, and as you can see, it's still working its way up to the ADR, which is right here. That's the way the market flows, cycles, up, pullback, up. See this pullback right here? 30 pips. Another pullback here, about 20 pips. And that's just the way the market flows. I teach you how to trade the market flow. That's what you need. So moving along to the last pair, pound dollar, drag and drop it up. And by the way, the first two trades were a perfect example of a great way to trade. This is not a great way to trade. This is trading the pullback. Should have got in a little bit sooner, a little bit more further down. But actually, let's see the timing. Yeah, it should have got in anywhere across here, which the difference, to be honest with you, is only 5 pips. So I missed it by 5 pips. Got in at this cursor here. My goal was stay in the trade until it hit the goal line, and it hit it right here. And that's producing, looks like 21 pips. And 21 pips on the pound dollar paid $2,100. Now, knowing that the trend is down, that's a good time to close the trade because it can easily come back and test the bottom. My goal day in and day out as I'm trading is to try to get around 50 pips. Some days a little less, some days more, and other days a lot more. Just to let you know, the last 4 trades I did, just go check it on the YouTube. It was 63 pips, 56 pips, and 102 pips. So anytime I can get 50 pips or more, guess what I am? I am happy, even though it can keep giving more pips. And when I'm happy, I close the trade. And today, if you've been adding up the pips, it was 70 pips. So I'm quite happy, to be honest with you. And those 70 pips paid $5,561. I just paused the video for a short spell as I was managing one other trade that I was in, and when I saw that it was at enough profit, I decided to close it and add it to the list. So now instead of 3 trades, I ended up with 4 trades. There were 2 pound pairs and 2 euro pairs. As you can see on this pound dollar, I told you it's going to hit the goal line and then probably do a reversal because the overall trend is down. I teach exactly how and where and when to get in and how to manage the trade. So let's run a check on that 4th trade I did today. I just closed it just now at 10:14, like that was like a minute ago. So on this pound Aussie, we're going to go look at the pound Aussie. Where is it? Here it is, pound Aussie. Now I would call this a little bit messy, or when it's messy, the market is range bound. In other words, a very, very good system to trade it with would be the magic trigger right here. Range bound. Buy low, sell high. This is a very, very good system along with the pip trigger and the golden trigger. They're all closely related, and that's why I recommend if you can, to get my top 4 very best trigger systems. Now this one here, obviously getting in, would have been closer to the bottom or in this general area. I was a little bit impatient once it broke the goal line here. I did take the trade at 8:30. It was an hour later Once it broke the goal line, did a bit of a cycle down, and then I knew it was going to go up to this area. So you got to know when the market is range bound, just to let you know that's 80% of the time, and the other 20% is it's trending. So that's why my top 4 systems, they go in great detail teaching both of those ways. Any professional expert trader will tell you you have to know how to trade the market when it's range bound and then when it's also trending. So getting into this pound Aussie, as I said, around 8:30. Remember, as I said many times, there's always a lot of opportunities around the goal line. Don't forget, when I take the trade, which was very closer to the goal line, and by the time you get in, it's actually the spread, which the spread is like around 2.2 pips. So I took the trade at this point right here. I know it went against me, but I knew that it was range bound, and I knew it was going to go up. Doesn't mean it's going to make it to the top, but it's going to get pretty close to the top, which is only 5 or 6 pips. And that's why I closed it out right here. Doesn't mean it'll make it. So you gotta know all these little tips and tricks. And I go into great detail within the training videos. It did a cycle, and that's just the way the market moves, of around 20, 22 pips. Let's run a check on that again. 22, 23 pips, not a big deal. Everything down at the bottom at this point was screaming, going up. So I knew it was going to go. Traders say, how do you know it's going to go? Well, I know it's going to go because my indicators are telling me. And right in here, that's 16 pips. And 16 pips on the pound Aussie paid $1,181. And of course, as you can see, these pound pairs, they just move like crazy. So when you get near the top, you got to think about closing a trade. And I could have jumped in to start going the other way, but I'm done trading. I did 4 trades to bring it up to speed. There was 70 plus another 16 more. That's 86 pips, and 86 pips paid $6,742. So remember, you have to master the flow of the market and master. There's a lot of things that you have to master. And every time I used to buy, which was on a weekly basis, you know, if it was under $100, I would just get a PDF book. If it was thousands of dollars, I would get training videos. And I'm not charging thousands of dollars, but they are worth even more than just a few $1,000s. My training and education are top notch. And once you master it, and I highly recommend going through the video multiple times. One trader told me he had to go through it 7 times before he could grasp and understand the concept of what I was trying to teach. So remember, don't be lazy and go through the training videos. If you want to know more about how to get your hands on this, all you got to do is look right below this video and you will see this write-up, the master trigger system that I do charge $250 for. I was just running a check on this other pair that I was in, and just as I was predicting, it was going to hit the ADR. But as I said, I was happy with the pip totals, and that is why I closed everything down. Anything above 50 pips a trading day, I'm very happy. So 86 pips today, I'm super happy. Now my master trigger system has has actually over 3.5 gigabytes of training. You'll get an exact copy of my system on your MT4 platform. It comes with 4 MT4 templates, 8 custom indicators, and of course my favorite, meter. Would not trade without it, and you should not either. There's a lot of PDF books, a lot of Word documents above and beyond my training videos, and these two right here are high value, will help you to become a successful trader. So don't be lazy, go through everything. Now there's a lot of ways to trade. I teach a lot of ways to trade. That's why there's 42 training videos and I threw in 9 bonus videos. My favorite way is a great way to trade. That's why I went back to this chart. I wanted to show you again. Works like a charm. I highly recommend you master this. It only takes a week or two to master it, like to at least understand the concept of it. So it'll work unless you break the rules. Now, what makes my master trigger a bit better than all my other trigger systems is within these training videos, these 5 subjects. In all the videos, I give a real lot, dozens and dozens, if not hundreds of advanced trading tips. I teach how to get near perfect timing entries. This would have been it right here. Very easy to see. Another perfect entry is right here. But it is at the right edge. It's very difficult to get it right on. So if you can get it within 10 pips, I would label that as you being a pretty good trader. I teach how to stay in the trade for more pips. As you can see, there's no red. This can easily continue to go up here. I teach how to trade at the right hand edge, make decisions right at the edge. And also teach how to trade higher time frames. Prior to pulling the trigger, I look at 2 or 3 higher time frames. I want to make sure that I'm going with the direction of the trend. Gives me the highest success rate. Now, in each and every video, I show many great trade setups. Exactly what it should look like before you pull the trigger. I teach how to backtest a master trigger. I do this up to 6 or 8 hours every weekend, even today or last weekend. Every weekend I still do it. How to scalp the market I teach, and how to scan the market. I teach how to trade all 3 sessions, including this London close. Also teach how to trade pullbacks. Here's a pullback, here's a pullback. I teach how to trade it. And of course, if it broke through the goal line and kept going down, that's a reversal, which I teach. Also teach how to trade around the goal line or close to the goal line. Let's see now. I teach how to trade the news. Somewhat difficult, but it is doable. I recommend a great way to trade first before you try the news. Also teach how to trade with a day job, either prior to going to work in the morning or when you come back after 9 to 5 job, and then you're going to trade the Asian. So prior will be London, after will be Asian. And of course, I'm speaking to people in North or South America. Obviously people in Europe, when they get up at 7 o'clock in the morning, that's the London Open, or, within an hour or so. So they would trade this move, wait for the pullback, trade again, and London is or the UK is the best. But I'm in Canada, so I have to trade what is given to me, as I used to get up at 2 and 3 in the morning, but after a few years of doing that, I realized I can make enough pips in the New York session. I don't have to worry about London. As you can see, first you get good in a demo, and then you go live, trade smaller lots so that you're not freaking out, and then as you're getting better and better, try to get to 1 or 2 standard lots, and at that point, you'll be making more money than what your job is paying. I know that. I've been down that road, and I speak from experience. I got 16 years in, almost. Actually, on September the 14th, that was the day I was introduced to it. 16 years ago, 2004, got over 50,000 hours of chart time. Trading is super easy for me now. You're not going to learn this in 30 days, but I can personally guarantee you that, 2 years from now or even 5 years from now, you're still going to need money. And so take your time, learn it for the future. Don't be in a hurry. Because if you're in a hurry, guess who you are going to keep happy? The brokers. Because guaranteed you will be giving your money to the brokers, and that's what the brokers are relying on. You in a hurry to make money. And that's how 95% of the traders, they lose tens of thousands of dollars, and eventually they just give up, saying that it's impossible to trade. So don't give up. Take the money and buy as much education as what you can afford. If you like one trigger system, I recommend getting your hands on as much training videos as possible. And eventually the light bulb will go off. You'll see the light at the end of the tunnel, and you'll be happy. So, if you have any questions at all, very simple. All you got to do is pick up the phone, call me. If you live too far, there's email address right here. Remember that there's an underscore right here. I do prefer Skype. All you got to do is click on this link right here, and through Skype screen sharing, I'll give you a free session, answer your questions, and then you can make a decision if you wish to buy. So anyhow, I do believe that just about wraps up this video. Sorry about being 21 minutes, but I gave a lot of good little tips and tricks in here. Hopefully it is helping you. So if you like this video, by the way, please give it a thumbs up, and please subscribe to my YouTube channel. So until the next trade, good luck with your trading, and remember, keep yourself and your family safe. Okay, bye for now.